Hi, I'm Derri, and I've read it before. Hi, I'm back, and I'm going to talk about the Death of Discworld. First of all, I'm going to tell you why the Death of Discworld is a little bit different to the Grim Reaper that pop culture usually puts in front of us. Death is very, very analogous to the disc. He's a little bit strange, with enough of what we're familiar with to make it work. So a thing to consider is that the turtle exists in a universe where the plane of reality is a spectrum and the disc is right up against the fabric edge of it. The fabric of reality isn't particularly sturdy, and lots of different things get through, and things from as little as inspiration particles through to as big as entire parasite universes. The Discworld can be an interesting place. Anyway, to deal with these incursions that occur reasonably often, the discs developed a form of defense in narrativium. Narrativium is an element that exists only on the disc, and it's part of how the disc operates. It operates on the basis of, does it make a good story? Will the little guy beat the big guy? Is there an underdog? Is there a villain? Is there a hero? Is there a captured princess? All of those really tropey story elements. The Discworld loves them and tries really hard to put people into them if they're a little bit close, simply by the way the disc operates. And a lot of this can work because of the nature of belief. Now, belief on the disc is a massive theme. The idea that if you believe in something enough, you can make it happen. Huge theme. It's in a lot of the books, and particularly in the death stories, because death has been formed pretty much by belief. And he evolves, and he learns that humans don't appreciate the lives that they have. And he finds that really bemusing. He literally just does not understand how we function by shutting off entire areas of our brains. He exists on the disc. He could walk the streets of any of the cities on the disc, and because humanity's brains refuse to see what they don't want to see, nobody sees him. They make up a reason why they walked around that space that death is in, because we refused to see what's there. Right, onto the books themselves. I'm going to talk about the Corecast of Characters, because each subset, that's kind of the point, it's this core group of people and each episode of the soap opera of the Discworld that they're in. So Death has quite a small core cast, and it's made up of himself, obviously. The Death of Discworld in all of his cat-loving glory. We have his servant. His servant is Albert. Albert is a grumpy, scruffly, fries everything, smokes a roll-up, grotty old man. And in time, his core cast will also include the Death of Rats, which, like Death, is a skeletal form in a cowl with a scythe. Like Death in the books, the Death of Rats also speaks in all caps. Unlike Death, he only has one word: squeak. Much like a character we will meet in the Wizards sub-series, the Librarian, that one word can mean a multitude of things, and all of it is to do with context. And the final person or character or individual to round out Death's core group of people is Susan. And Susan, via events that you will read about, is his granddaughter. Yes, Death has a granddaughter. And because genetics and hereditary works a little bit strangely on the disc, she has inherited several of his traits. This is important because it means that the narrativium of the disc recognizes her as a suitable substitute on the events when Death is absent. So from there I'm going to move into the books, and there are 5 of them, and Death is in all of the Discworld books except 1. So to put that into context, that's 40 books out of 41 Death makes an appearance. But only 5 does he have his own storyline. The first one is Mort, and I mentioned Mort in my last video. Mort is book 4. Mort is actually the definitive turning point between where Derri moves from mocking the genre and its silliness and its simplicity and tropes into using a far more advanced form of the genre to mock the real world. So Mort in itself is quite a simple book. It's very straightforward. It tells the story of Mort, obviously, that's why it's called Mort. And Mort is a young lad who, because this is very tropey, is the awkward, the gangly, the doesn't fit anywhere teenage kid who is left till last at the apprentice hiring fair. Death takes on an apprentice. He takes on Mort. Now when Mort gets back to Death's realm of existence, he finds it's not just Death and Albert who live in Death's realm. Death has an adopted daughter. We never find out the story behind how he adopts this daughter. We only know that she's there. And much like Mort, because it's a trope, she is the stroppy, moody, shrieky, jumps to conclusions and flies off the handle teenage girl. And this is where people feel shortchanged by the Death books. And it's a truth that holds for all 5. Death's not in them very much. Sorry. He just isn't. He has a story, and it does get told throughout the story of Mort, but he's genuinely just not in it a lot. Most of the story of Mort is about Mort learning how to take on the duties of Death, getting it wrong, and all of the consequences that comes of that. And that takes up most of the story page time in Mort. And because so many people start with Mort, because let's face it, it sounds really cool. Death takes an apprentice. Oh, that sounds awesome. Only to find he's not in it a lot. Well, it's a bit underwhelming. So, yeah. Sorry about that. They do get better, and I will continue talking about them. In my next video, I will look at Reaper Man and Soul Music, and I will probably do that in about 3 or 4 days' time, because I figure with short clips, I can put them out a bit quicker. So, if you enjoyed this, please like, please subscribe, and leave me a comment. Did you start with the Death books? If you did, what are your thoughts on Mort? Did they really encourage you to read the next one, or were you underwhelmed? Did you wonder why people kept telling you to read this series? Let me know, and I'll see you next time, where I've read another one before.